Okay, so picture this. You've got this super high-stakes summit. The most powerful leaders in the world are all gathered together in one room. And let me tell you, the mood is one of just absolute confidence. They seriously believe they have everything completely under control. First up, you've got the President of the USA. He kind of sets the tone for the whole meeting with this big declaration of total authority. In his mind, there is absolutely no room for error, no doubt whatsoever that they're steering the ship of the world perfectly. And then we hear from the President of Russia. He's got a different flavor of control. It's not about frantically managing things, it's more about this stoic, unshakable power. His worldview is that he's such a force of nature that problems just kind of orbit around him, but they never really touch him. And to round out our little trio, here comes the leader of Pakistan. He just cuts right through all that high-level posturing with a perspective that's way more relatable. You know, while the others are debating global dominance, he's focused on what really matters. So the scene is set, and we've got our leaders, who couldn't be more different, all established. But just as they're getting comfortable, the whole situation is about to take a very sharp, very unexpected, and pretty dramatic turn. Yeah, in just an instant, all that confidence, all that feeling of being in control is about to be put to the ultimate test with absolutely no warning. The lights go out, the screens go black. The entire high-tech summit room is just plunged into darkness and total silence. That whole illusion of control, poof, it's completely shattered. The US president's reaction, it's immediate, and it's technical. His mind just leaps to a catastrophic, super complex problem. We're talking a full-scale breakdown of the entire infrastructure. You can almost hear the panic in his voice as he makes that diagnosis. But the president of Russia, he sees something completely different. He's not thinking about a technical glitch. He sees an intentional act. To him, this isn't a failure. It's a challenge, some kind of deliberate test of their power by an enemy he can't even see. And this just perfectly illustrates that third perspective. The leader of Pakistan just bypasses all the complex geopolitical theories, all the technical jargon, and goes straight for the simplest, most comically practical explanation you could possibly imagine. All right, let's move on to the next phase and see how this all escalates. That initial shock, it pretty quickly turns into a frantic scramble for solutions as the world's most powerful minds try to figure out what to do in the dark. And right away, you can see how different their approaches are. The US president's default is a structured, top-down solution. Get the experts on the phone. Meanwhile, the president of Russia is prepping for direct personal action. He doesn't delegate, he's going to take matters into his own hands. So while these two superpowers are busy spinning up their complex, high-stakes responses, the real solution is about to come from a much quieter and much, much simpler place. I mean, think about it for a second. If you were in that room, what would you assume? A sophisticated cyber attack? A critical infrastructure meltdown? The possibilities for a global crisis seem absolutely endless. And honestly, every single one of them is terrifying. And just as the others are escalating things, the leader of Pakistan cuts right through all that tension with one word: relax. It's this moment of calm, and he's offering a simple action instead of some complex theory. He just walks over to the wall, finds a switch, and with a single, totally unremarkable motion, click. The sound is almost laughably simple compared to the massive scale of the panic in that room. And just like that, the lights flicker back on, the screens reboot, the global crisis is over. He turns back to the other stunned leaders with this understated confidence that just says it all. So what happens next? Let's take a look at the aftermath of this unbelievably simple solution and the really powerful lesson it teaches all of us about how we solve problems. The US president is just in a state of pure disbelief. I mean, he was ready to mobilize the entire technological machine of his country, and the solution was a light switch. The sheer simplicity of it completely short-circuits his whole complex worldview. The president of Russia, on the other hand, just offers this one single word of grudging respect. As a guy who values decisive action, he can't help but be impressed by how effective such a direct and simple solution was. And here we are at the end, with the moral of our story. It's really a perfect example of a principle called Occam's razor. The simplest explanation is very often the right one. It's funny, our brains can have what's called a complexity bias, this unconscious pull to believe that big problems must have big, complicated solutions. But this is just a brilliant reminder to always check the simple things first. So the question for all of us is, how often do we look for a complex system failure when we really just need to check the switch?